Welcome to War Bios, the podcast where we delve into the lives of history's most fascinating military leaders and warriors. I'm your host, General Biography, and today we're going to explore the remarkable life of King Philip II of Macedon, one of the most influential and successful commanders of the ancient world. Born in 382 BCE in the city of Pella, Macedonia, King Philip would go on to revolutionize warfare and lay the foundation for his son Alexander's conquests. To understand the man behind the legend, we must first examine his early life and formative years. King Philip was born into the royal family of Macedon, with his father, Amyntas III, ruling as king. His mother, Eurydice, was a member of the neighboring royal family of Illyria, and her influence would later shape Philip's foreign policy. As a young prince, Philip was exposed to the complexities of court politics and the harsh realities of life in ancient Macedonia. Growing up in Pella, Philip would have been surrounded by the bustling streets of the city with its mix of Greek and Macedonian cultures. He would have seen the impressive palace of his father, with its grand architecture and beautiful gardens. The city was a hub of trade and commerce, with merchants coming from all over the ancient world to exchange goods such as wine, olive oil, and textiles. Philip's education was typical of a young nobleman of his time. He would have studied literature, philosophy, and athletics under the guidance of some of the most prominent scholars of the day. His tutors would have included men like Aristotle, who would later become one of the most influential philosophers in history. Philip's education would also have included military training, where he would have learned the art of warfare from experienced soldiers and generals. One of the most significant influences on Philip's early life was his time spent as a hostage in Thebes. In 369 BCE, Philip was sent to Thebes as a guarantee of Macedonian good faith, following a treaty between King Amyntas III and the Theban general Epaminondas. During his time in Thebes, Philip would have been exposed to the city's vibrant culture and politics, including the influential ideas of the Theban school, which emphasized the importance of military discipline and tactical innovation. Thebes was a city unlike any other in ancient Greece. Its streets were lined with impressive buildings, including the famous Temple of Apollo, and its people were known for their love of philosophy and the arts. Philip would have seen the great Theban general Epaminondas, who was known for his brilliant tactics and leadership skills, and would have learned from him the importance of adaptability and creative problem-solving on the battlefield. Philip's experiences in Thebes would have had a profound impact on his development as a military leader. He would have seen firsthand the effectiveness of the Theban phalanx formation, which emphasized discipline, cohesion, and tactical flexibility. He would also have learned from Epaminondas's emphasis on adaptability and creative problem-solving on the battlefield. These lessons would serve Philip well in his future campaigns, as he adapted and refined the tactics he had learned to suit the needs of the Macedonian army. As we explore King Philip's early life, it becomes clear that his formative years were marked by a complex interplay of family politics, military training, and cultural influences. His experiences as a young prince, hostage, and student would shape him into one of the most brilliant and ruthless commanders of the ancient world. With his education and early influences firmly in place, Philip was now poised to take the first steps towards his future greatness. The story of King Philip II is one of strategic genius, personal ambition, and the unyielding pursuit of power, a true masterpiece of military biography. As Philip returned to Macedonia, he began to apply these lessons to the development of the Macedonian army. He introduced a number of reforms, including the creation of a professional infantry force known as the phalanx, which emphasized discipline, cohesion, and tactical flexibility. This formation, which had been perfected by the Thebans, allowed for greater maneuverability on the battlefield and enabled Philip's soldiers to present a wall of long spears to their enemies. One of Philip's most significant innovations was the introduction of the sarissa, a long pike that could be used to devastating effect against enemy cavalry. The sarissa was typically around 15 feet in length, allowing Macedonian phalanx soldiers to outreach their opponents and protect themselves from enemy horsemen. This gave Philip's army a significant advantage on the battlefield, as they were able to neutralize the traditional superiority of cavalry forces. Philip also invested heavily in the development of his army's logistics and supply chain. He created a network of roads and communication systems that allowed him to move his troops quickly and efficiently around the region. This enabled Philip to respond rapidly to threats from neighboring states and to launch surprise attacks against his enemies. As Philip's military machine began to take shape, he turned his attention to expanding Macedonia's borders. In 3058 BCE, he launched a campaign against the Illyrians, who had long been a thorn in the side of Macedonian rulers. Philip's army was able to defeat the Illyrians decisively, incorporating their territory into the Macedonian kingdom and securing a vital trade route. Over the next several years, Philip continued to expand his empire, conquering neighboring territories and incorporating them into the Macedonian state. He launched successful campaigns against the Thracians, the Paeonians, and the Athenians, each time using his superior military organization and tactics to outmaneuver his opponents. One of Philip's most notable victories was the Battle of Chaeronea in 3038 BCE, where he defeated a combined force of Athenians and Thebans. This battle marked a significant turning point in Greek history as it cemented Macedonian dominance over the region and paved the way for Philip's son Alexander to launch his own conquests. Throughout his campaigns, Philip was known for his cunning and adaptability as a commander. He was willing to take risks and try new tactics, often using innovative strategies to outmaneuver his opponents. At the same time, he was also ruthless and merciless, frequently massacring or enslaving the populations of conquered cities. As we explore King Philip's remarkable achievements, it becomes clear that his military genius, combined with his personal ambition and strategic vision, made him one of the most successful commanders of the ancient world. His legacy would be felt for centuries to come, as his son Alexander went on to conquer a vast portion of the known world. As we move into the later years of Philip's life, we find him facing increased intrigue and drama, both within his personal life and on the broader stage of ancient Greek politics. One of the most significant challenges he faced was the tumultuous relationship with his wives and sons. Philip had multiple marriages throughout his life, each aimed at securing alliances with neighboring states or solidifying his power within Macedonia. However, these marriages often led to complications, particularly in terms of succession. One of Philip's most notable marriages was to Olympias, a member of the royal family of Epirus, whom he married in 357 BCE. This union produced Alexander, who would go on to become one of history's greatest conquerors. However, Philip's relationship with Olympias was complicated, and he eventually divorced her, leading to tension between him and his son Alexander. Philip's assassination in 3036 BCE marked a pivotal moment not only for Macedonia but for the entire ancient world. He was killed at the theater of Aegae during the wedding celebration of his daughter Cleopatra to Alexander I of Epirus. The assassin was one of Philip's bodyguards, Pausanias, who had a personal vendetta against Philip due to a matter of honor that Philip had not addressed to Pausanias' satisfaction. The aftermath of Philip's assassination saw Alexander, then just 20 years old, ascend to the throne. Despite his youth, Alexander was well prepared by his father's legacy and his own upbringing to take on the mantle of leadership. He would go on to fulfill and exceed his father's ambitions, creating one of the largest empires in history. Philip's legacy extends far beyond the military conquests and administrative reforms he implemented during his reign. He laid the groundwork for the Hellenistic period that followed Alexander's death, a time of cultural, scientific, and philosophical flourishing throughout the Mediterranean world. The spread of Greek culture, language, and philosophy was directly facilitated by the empire Philip helped build, and Alexander expanded. In conclusion, King Philip II of Macedon's life was marked by significant achievements in military strategy, political maneuvering, and cultural advancement. His personal life was complex and often tumultuous, but his legacy as a leader and statesman is undeniable. As we close this chapter on Philip's life, it becomes clear that his impact on ancient Greece and the wider world was profound, setting the stage for centuries of historical development. The story of King Philip II serves as a reminder of the enduring power of strategic vision, personal ambition, and the ability to adapt and innovate in pursuit of greatness. That's all for today's War Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, And until next time, I'm General Biography reminding you to keep marching toward victory.